The escalator began as an amusement park joke. Full stop. Coney Island, 1895. A crowd gathers around a moving rubber belt angled upward at 25 degrees. They pay a nickel to ride it. At the top, they step off sideways, because there is literally no other exit. They think it's a thrill ride. They are correct. This same machine now moves the equivalent of the entire human population every 3 months. The thing nobody took seriously is the silent engine of modern civilization. It still has no idea you're afraid of the gap at the bottom. How did a carnival novelty become the backbone of every airport, mall, and subway system on Earth? And why did the first indoor escalator require shopmen to hand out free smelling salts and cognac to terrified customers? The answer changes more than you'd expect. Here's the assumption that sounds completely reasonable. The escalator was invented to solve a transportation problem. Someone looked at stairs and thought, what if they moved? Clean, logical, inevitable. Engineering destiny. That's wrong. Jesse W. Reno didn't patent his endless conveyor or elevator on March 15, 1892 to move commuters more efficiently. He built an attraction. His Coney Island installation was a novelty ride at the old iron pier. People paid to be amused by it. The practical application came later, almost by accident, when someone noticed what made tourists scream on a pier could move shoppers through a department store. This is the story of an invention that had to be taken seriously against its own will. And the person who finally forced the world to reckon with it was selling luxury goods in Paris. A second payoff lands before that, somewhere between a patent and a cognac glass. History hiding in plain sight. London, November 16, 1898. Harrods department store, Knightsbridge. The store has unveiled what it calls a moving staircase, a continuous leather belt constructed from 224 linked pieces, rising upward on a gentle incline. Staff are positioned at the top. Their sole job, revive customers who arrive at the landing. According to historian Bill Lancaster in The Department Store, A Social History, those customers were, quote, unnerved by the experience, and shopmen dispensed free smelling salts and cognac. A luxury retailer turned its escalator landing into a triage station. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Jesse Reno and designer Charles Seeberger were locked in a race neither fully understood. Reno had the working machine. Seeberger had the better product. In 1899, Seeberger partnered with the Otis Elevator Company in Yonkers, New York, to produce the first flat-stepped commercial escalator. 1 year later, the Seeberger Otis escalator won first prize at the 1900 Paris Exposition Universelle, competing against French models, Reno's inclined elevator, and two devices by Halley and Piat. Then, Seeberger needed a name. He consulted a Latin lexicon. He took scala, meaning staircase, added the prefix e and suffix tor, his own rough translation, means of traversing from. He intended it pronounced Escalator. The public said escalator. He also trademarked it. That decision would haunt the Otis Elevator Company for the next 50 years. But that's only half the story. Here's the misconception worth destroying. The escalator replaced the staircase. Stairs went up, escalators went up faster. Logical substitution, technology marching forward, completely beside the point. The escalator didn't replace the staircase. It replaced the decision to move at all. Multiple studies, including research published in peer-reviewed public health journals, have found that when escalators are present, stair usage in the same building drops by 80 to 95%, not by half, not significantly, by almost everything. The escalator didn't compete with stairs. It eliminated them from the equation of daily movement for billions of people. And then there's what Otis did with the word. For 50 years, no competitor could legally call their product an escalator. Westinghouse called theirs the electric stairway. Houghton called theirs moving stairs. The New York-based Peel Company called theirs the motor stair. In 1950, the landmark case Houghton Elevator Company v. Seeberger ended Otis's linguistic stranglehold. Assistant Commissioner of Patents Murphy ruled that the term escalator was, quote, recognized by the general public as the name for a moving stairway and not the source thereof. All trademark protections were stripped. The word fell into the public domain. The escalator had become so ubiquitous that it erased its own identity as a brand. It won by disappearing. So who, or what, was left to carry the consequences? This is where it gets truly strange. November 18, 1987, King's Cross Underground Station, London. A fire starts beneath one of the wooden escalators. It smolders invisibly in the undercarriage, feeding on what the official inquiry would later quantify as approximately 8,800 kilograms of accumulated debris, grease, fiber, old paint, shredded advertisements. The equivalent of nearly 10 metric tons of material nobody had cleared out, acting as a wick for decades of interior lubricants. Then, in a phenomenon fire investigators had never previously documented, the heat accelerates violently up the enclosed shaft. They would name it the trench effect. In seconds, the ticket hall above erupts into flame. 31 people die. The response was total. Every wooden escalator in the London Underground was removed from service. The last one came out of Greenford Station in 2013. The London Underground had known about escalator fire risk for years. The warnings existed. The debris kept accumulating. One dry aside before we continue, the escalator had spent decades quietly collecting everything everyone had ever dropped, shed, or discarded while passing through, until the archive became the disaster. Turns out the machine was doing what all of us do, holding on to things it should have let go long ago. The King's Cross fire rewrote safety codes across the world. But the strangest expression of the escalator's power isn't in a London tunnel. It's on the other side of the planet, moving 78,000 people a day through a city built on a hill. Hong Kong, 1993. The central mid-levels escalator opens. 800 meters of connected moving stairs and travelators, crossing 13 streets, built for $30 million. The longest outdoor escalator system in the world. And it does something no escalator had done before it. It reverses direction. Downhill from 6 to 10 a.m., uphill from 10 a.m. to midnight, following the prevailing flow of human movement through the city. It serves 78,000 pedestrian trips daily, at no charge. Director Wong Kar-wai filmed Chungking Express on it in 1994. Christopher Nolan filmed scenes for The Dark Knight on it in 2008. The infrastructure became the backdrop. The machine became the landscape of the city itself. Every escalator you step onto today descends directly from a nickel ride, a Harrods cognac cart, and a London fire that killed 31 people. So, the next time you step onto an escalator, without thinking, without pausing, without deciding, consider that this effortlessness was engineered. The machine was designed to make the choice invisible, to turn movement into inertia and inertia into habit. Someone built that into the world, one moving step at a time, starting with a nickel ride on a pier in Brooklyn in 1895. The escalator doesn't take you up, it takes you along. Everything in between was already chosen for you. Some stairs were always meant to move. If this changed what you see the next time you step on one, drop a comment below. What everyday object do you think is hiding a stranger story than this? Subscribe to find out when we reveal the next one. This is Object Lore. The history of the world is hiding in plain sight. Until next time.